2009 is the year that this is what passed for entertainment in Washington. The country gathering around congressional hearings to take gleeful pleasure in watching zillionaire banking CEOs squirm.
I believe that both our firm, our industry, have far to go to regain the trust of taxpayers, investors, and public officials.
But we understand that taxpayers are angry, and they deserve to know how their funds are being used.
We're Americans first, and we're bankers second. So we see this taxpayer investment first and foremost as an investment in the future economic growth of our country.
All of us here who are here today, and many who are not here, bear some measure of responsibility for the current state of financial markets.
I would also like to say something about the airplane that was in the news. We did not adjust quickly enough to this new world, and I take personal responsibility for that mistake. In the end, I canceled delivery. We need to do a better job of acknowledging and embracing the new realities. Let me be clear with the committee. I get the new reality, and I will make sure Citi gets it as well.
If the feeling you get while watching that sort of testimony is something like, yeah, finally these guys are getting taken down a peg. Oh, it's so satisfying to finally see the plutocrats have to defend themselves. Maybe now we can get something done for people who actually have to work for a living instead of everything just always benefiting guys like that all the time. If that's how you're feeling, that little pugilistic feeling you're getting, that feeling is your inner populist waking you up. A lot of people, maybe even the whole Democratic Party, have been getting woken up by their inner populists lately. In the 2006 midterm elections, candidates like Senator Jon Tester of Montana, Senator Jim Webb of Virginia, Senator Sherrod Brown of Ohio, each won elections that they weren't necessarily expected to win in that critical midterm year. The thing that tied all them together, which bewildered observers who had not noticed the rising populist tide in Democratic politics, was not that they were all in the same place on the left-right scale. It was not that they had the same positions on all the traditional hot-button issues. They didn't. The thing that united those now senators, all those guys who won, is that they all campaigned as economic populists. As in, I stand for the little guy. As in, the reason I'm a Democrat, the reason the Democratic Party exists is to represent people who have to work for a living, people who have to take showers after work, not just before. And now the tide that started a long time ago, that bewildered the political establishment when it became noticeable in 2006, that tide is cresting. We have a hugely dominant Democratic Party in Washington now, and we have a massive economic crisis. The prevailing winds in the country and in Washington are blowing in a distinctly partisan direction. You put that all together, and what you get is black and white cartoon caricature fat cat villains on whom blame and scorn are now being heaped.
If in good times you were told you weren't going to get a bonus, what part of your job would you not do? I mean, if you weren't getting a bonus, would you leave early on Wednesday, or would you take longer lunches? Why do you need to be bribed to have your interests aligned with the people who are paying your salary?
The American people are exceedingly angry. If they are angry about one thing, it is a lack of intelligence as to what happened to the money.
How dare you, Judy from Kansas City? How big is your yacht, Michelle?
Frank Krasuski of Orlando writes, put them all in jail.
We listen to you, and we hear words, 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 and no answer.
You come to us today on your bicycles after buying Girl Scout cookies and helping out Mother Teresa, telling us we're sorry, we didn't mean it, we won't do it again, trust us. Well, I have some people in my constituency that actually robbed some of your banks, and they say the same thing. Do you understand that this is a little difficult for most of my constituents to take, that you learned your lesson? The problem I have is that honestly, none of us, America doesn't trust you anymore.
These congressional hearings with all the Wall Street CEOs having to sit there and take it, they were very emotionally satisfying. America's inner populists are wide awake and well-fed and very happy.